Hello everyone, welcome and thank you for your interest in Stanford University's new initiative, the Knight-Hennessy Scholars Program. This is R.A. Chasnaw from the Knight-Hennessy Scholars team, and in this video I'll give you an overview of our admission process. For details on our eligibility requirements and what we look for in candidates, visit our website at the URL listed at the bottom of the screen. First of all, and most important, to become a Knight-Hennessy Scholar, you need to complete two separate applications. There's one application for the Knight-Hennessy Scholars Program, and I'll tell you more about that application momentarily. The other application is for the graduate program that you wish to pursue at Stanford, and that is focused on the criteria of that specific program. There are two different applications and two different deadlines. The Knight-Hennessy Scholars application is due September 12th at 1 p.m. Pacific Time. The Stanford graduate program will, in general, be due on November 14th. There will be a few exceptions. Some programs like the MD, MBA, Physician Assistant, and Management Science and Engineering Master's programs, for example, have earlier deadlines, so be sure to check with the program that interests you to ensure that you submit the application on time. So what do we ask for in the Knight-Hennessy Scholars application? Well, first, there's the basic biographical and demographic information. The online application has no fee, but we do ask you for information about your background, the way that you've spent your time in college, out of college, in the workplace, and outside the workplace. We ask you for a one-page resume. This is a one-page curated overview of experiences, professional, academic, and personal experiences. The resume lets you provide context for the team that's going to be looking at your application. Of course, it's going to overlap somewhat with your application. You'll have information about your academic history on the resume. There'll be more extensive information about that in the application. You'll have information about your professional experiences on the resume, and more details about that in the application. That's normal. The resume introduces the rest of the application. The resume is a way for you to frame the story that we'll be learning about you as we move through your application. Next, transcripts. We'll ask you for undergraduate and graduate transcripts if you have graduate transcripts. You do not need official transcripts for your Knight-Hennessy Scholars Program application. You will, however, need those for your graduate program application. When assessing candidates, we really don't go course by course and grade by grade. We look more broadly for trends in performance. We try to understand the opportunities you've had and how you took advantage of those. And we tend to be more forgiving of a slow start to college than of a slow finish in college. Test results. If you're applying to one of the professional schools, medicine, law, or business, it's pretty straightforward. The MD program requires the MCAT. The JD program requires the LSAT. The MBA program requires the GMAT or the GRE. If you're applying to any other graduate program at Stanford, however, a PhD in history, a PhD in mechanical engineering, then the test policy is a school-level decision. For example, the School of Earth Sciences, the School of Education, the School of Engineering, the School of Humanities and Sciences. Each decides whether to require GRE scores, whether to recommend them, whether to simply accept them, or whether not to accept them at all. As a result, you will need to look department by department for the specific requirements of the programs that interest you. That information should be posted to the program websites by mid-September at the latest. The Knight-Hennessy Scholars Program will follow whatever the department is asking for. If the department you are interested in doesn't accept scores, we don't want them either. If the department recommends them and you're submitting them to the department, great. Also send them to us. For English proficiency, you need results of the TOEFL unless you have a degree from an institution at which English is the official and sole language of instruction. This waiver is not based on citizenship, where you live, or work experience. This waiver is based on you having earned an undergraduate or a graduate degree from a university with English language instruction. Let's talk timing. You don't have to have these scores by the time you apply to the Knight-Hennessy Scholars Program on September 12th. You need these scores by the time you apply to your graduate degree program. And at that point, if you've already submitted your application, there will be a way for you to update the scores. All of the application requirements I just mentioned are really the data. We'll spend much more time on the context. And we get that context from stories. Stories about you that other people tell us, which are the recommendation letters, and stories about you that you tell us, which are your essays and video. We ask you for two recommendation letters. We are not focused on the title of the person who wrote it or his or her affiliation with Stanford. We're looking at the text of the letter. What does the letter tell us about you? What makes a great letter? Details, evidence, anecdotes, examples that really help to bring you to life, that help us understand not only the things that you've done, but also how you did those things. The graduate degree program to which you're applying also is going to ask for recommendation letters. How do you think about those letters? Well, it's perfectly fine to have the same person submit letters for both the Knight-Hennessy Scholars Program and for the graduate program. But they should be separate, distinct letters, because as you think of the criteria, as you think of the things that the Knight-Hennessy Scholars Program is looking for, and the things your academic program is looking for, they're very different, and the letters should reflect that. The application for your graduate degree program needs to stand on its own. It should address only and solely what that graduate degree program is looking for, and the Knight-Hennessy Scholars application has to stand on its own. Besides recommendation letters, we're looking at essays. Essays are stories that you're telling us. They complement the stories that others have told us about you in the recommendation letters. There are two questions. The essay questions are focused on your past and your future. We're trying to get a sense of how you've evolved into the person you are today and of the person you aspire to become. And of course, the implication is there is a gap between where you are today and where you aspire to go, and you're trying to bridge that gap through the relationships and experiences and exposure and education that you would get at Stanford. So specifically, the two questions are, number one, connect the dots. Tell us how the influences in your life have shaped you. How will your Stanford education and your Knight-Hennessy Scholars experience support this? Your goal here should be to do some structured reflection on who you are, on your values, your ideals, your choices, and your potential. And then the byproduct of that process is the essay that you turn into us. Our best advice is the simplest advice, which is answer the question. It's really easy as you're writing essays to get so focused on what you think we need to know that you don't actually tell us the thing we've asked you. Our rule of thumb is if you're learning about yourself from writing the essays, there's a really good chance we are learning about you from reading them. There aren't shortcuts that you can take and still do a good job. And also keep in mind that you don't need some earth-shattering accomplishment or experience to be a strong candidate. Most of our scholars have succeeded by doing ordinary things, but they've done them extraordinarily well. There are two short answer questions as well. We'll ask you for 3 short-term goals that you've worked toward, and no, applying to Stanford or being selected as a Knight-Hennessy Scholar can't be one of those goals. Second, we ask you about 8 improbable facts, 8 things about you that are true but unlikely, things we might not learn if we spoke to you for only 10 or 15 minutes, but that are indeed true. Finally, the video. The video is no more than 2 minutes in length. There's zero focus on production value. It's not about special effects or backgrounds or things like that. We really just want you to have a chance to be heard. We want to have a chance to meet you. If we could meet every single applicant in person, that's the process we designed, but it's just not feasible. The prompt for this year is straightforward. It's teach us something. Teach something to your cohort of fellow Knight-Hennessy scholars. And that could be a family recipe, that could be something you've learned on a team, that could be something you've discovered in a research lab. It could be something you've gleaned about yourself. But take the couple of minutes to help teach something to your fellow scholars. And when you think about all the things that I just talked about, the online application, the resume, the transcripts, the test scores, the recommendations, the essays, the video, that's a lot of information about one person. We will integrate all of that and review your application holistically. As we read your application, we are looking for strengths. Each person reading your application gets to make a case for why you would be a great Knight-Hennessy scholar. You are helping us through your application to see the potential that you have and to make a case for why you'd be terrific in this program. Finally, with feedback from the graduate degree programs, we will invite a subset of applicants to Immersion Weekend. We are planning to select a cohort of up to 75 scholars for the cohort entering in 2019 and up to 100 scholars for future years. As such, we plan to invite 125 to 150 students to Immersion Weekend for the 2018-2019 cycle, and then around 200 for Immersion Weekend in future years. Immersion Weekend is our chance to meet, in person, the applicants that we've only read about. We really think of it as a two-way conversation, where we're learning more about you, while you are also learning more about Stanford, the Knight-Hennessy Scholars Program, and your specific degree program. Immersion Weekend is the culmination of the admission process. We design it to be informal and informative, and Stanford pays for your airfare and lodging. The overall experience comprises a chance to connect with scholars and hear from faculty. You'll participate in individual and group exercises. Most of Immersion Weekend is social and educational in nature, and again intended to give you a preview of what your life would be like as a Knight-Hennessy scholar. There are also evaluative pieces. You'll have an interview, for example. The 2018-2019 Immersion Weekend will take place February 8th through 10th. We'll be able to notify the finalists whether you've been selected as scholars by mid-February of 2019. I hope this has been helpful. You can find comprehensive information about the application process on our website at kh.stanford.edu. You can also contact us by email or phone. Thank you for watching.